Hi and welcome to your Top 5 Webcast. I'm Rachel Hopkins and today we'll be looking at the top 5 customer service essentials, pieces of content to boost your customer service levels. In this webcast we'll focus on navigation and basic functionality. I recommend you take 10 minutes after you've watched this video to explore and experiment for yourself. Let's just go to my intranet and we'll start with a process which hopefully you're already aware of. Here's my intranet. I go into my content hub and then into the firm. And here's where you'll find your own internal processes. Firstly, we're going to look at the new clients process. And this process starts off with client screening. So the client screening process helps front desk team get contact details from potential clients and set up initial meetings. You can also get the resources ready for those meetings, such as the client screening questions. The next steps are for your partners and client managers to call the client and screen the potential client before the initial meeting, which is the next stage in our process. And at the end of this process here is the new client setup form, which the partner fills out and then hands the process back to you as administrators. So in the meetings and new clients, you'll find those on step 16 here. Now where you really come into your own is at the admin and welcome kit stages of the new clients process. The administration process leads you through the various bits of paperwork which need to be completed and sent off for internal purposes. And then you move into the welcome pack, which is the paperwork which needs to go to the client. So this is where you go through to your engagement letter, any fixed price agreement, introductory letters, payment details, and the authority forms. And then from here we move into the setup, and this includes things like setting up files and database records, and then it handshakes into the initial setup process for the accounting team with things like setting up the general ledger and setting up BankLink. So back in the welcome kit process, so let's go into tool number 2. Back in the welcome kit process, on step 5 you'll see another handy tool, which is the records folders. Now these are just templates and they're also available off the firm menu. So this process is simply how to set up folders to help your clients maintain their own records, and it includes example tabs, an instruction sheet and explanatory letter. Some firms do this for every client, and some firms simply use them for clients whose paperwork organisation skills are lacking. So there are two schools of thought as far as when to use them. Some firms give them to clients straight away when they come on board, so as part of that welcome kit process as we saw, or some at the end of at the start of the financial year, and say file everything in here as the year goes along and bring them back in with your completed questionnaires at the end. And some firms send them with their annual questionnaires at that time of year. Okay, so let's go back to the Content Hub and into the firm and look at a really simple process here, the contact procedure. This process is all about how you treat clients when they actually physically walk into your office. Now, this might seem like a basic idea for some firms, but it is really good to have a slick way of doing this, and not everyone does. How this is done is often more related to the person who is at front desk than actually being a firm policy or a way that everyone does it. So this process can be altered and customized to fit your firm. In essence, it's a guide to top-notch service, which can then be used as a template. So, for example, you can see step 6 here. If you have an espresso machine in your office, you might actually want to create a menu to list the kinds of coffee available, or even if you just have a variety of teas. Things like this, you know, they might seem completely over the top to you at first, but put yourself in your client's shoes. Your client would get this level of service at a high-end hair salon, so why can't visiting their accountant be just as special? Why can't they be treated like this in an accountant's office? So you might look at this and you might laugh, but hey, food for thought. Think about how you actually do this. Maybe you could be taking it to a higher level. Okay, so let's jump back to that menu and let's talk about marketing and newsletters, which are often looked after by someone in a customer services role in accounting firms, because of course most accounting firms don't have their own in-house marketing department. So from the firm menu you'll see marketing. Now this simply leads into a process on how to run a seminar or a webinar. And if I go back, you'll also see Business Forward and Wilco here down under newsletters. Now these are newsletters which Business Fitness produces for you to rebrand and send. By clicking the Wilco procedure, you'll see a whole process around how to prepare and send them. And if you navigate to your knowledge base, let me go Business Fitness Content, Knowledge Base, Wilco, and you see Business Forward there as well, that's how you actually get to the newsletters themselves. Now on the Business Fitness website, we actually have a whole tutorial. So if you go to businessfitness.co.nz and then into Client Development and Webcasts, you'll see Making Wilco Your Own. So there is actually a full tutorial on how to actually prepare and send Wilco. So back to marketing, just a very quick note that within the coaching library we also do have some marketing material. So what I'll do is jump to the Content Hub, and into coaching, and you can see this marketing and selling section. Now within the coaching library here, these are designed to be used with clients, but there's no reason you couldn't use them internally. There is actually a marketing plan checklist and also a promotional plan template. So if you want to really get serious about marketing and you're not quite sure where to start, I would actually start with your coaching library resources here and just use them for your own internal marketing. Okay, now let's jump back once again, Content Hub, to the firm. Let's look at a customer service process number 5, which really separates the men from the boys. The proof of customer service really is how complaints are handled. And if your clients don't feel listened to and valued, they will absolutely never forget it. So this process, the client queries and complaints process, this ensures that complaints are handled professionally, and most importantly they are actually followed up and they are dealt with. So putting a system like this in place means that if you do have unhappy clients for any reason, you can turn them back into happy clients, and you can really help them know that they do matter and that their thoughts are taken seriously in your firm. So that's our top 5 customer service webcasts. Now don't forget to take 10 minutes now to actually go and have a look, explore that content for yourself. If you need any assistance, you can email me training@businessfitness.co.nz. For our current webinar training schedule, go to bfnzcdc.co.nz and you'll see what free webinars we've got coming up.